Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. So we've got a Terra Luna Classic update to go through in reference to a KYC proposal that's currently being discussed on Commonwealth. So we'll be getting onto that. We'll take a quick look at the crypto fear and greed index. We'll take a quick look at crypto bubbles, and then we'll do some TNA at the end of this video to take a look at what Luna Classic's doing on a day view. So going over first, clearly going to be looking at that fear and greed index, as I said, at a 34, and this is relatively steady considering the overall timeline of the past 30 days. So if we scroll down here, we can get this up on a 1 month timeline, and we can see that coming down from that 25th of July high, peaking out at around a 68. We can see that we've moved down to that 17 to 21 level, and we're now sort of coasting between the two zones of around 50 and 15. So this is actually a really good sign to see it plateauing out here. This is a possible sign that the market is starting to pick up and people are starting to reinvest their capital that they may have on the sideline. We'd all love to see crypto euphoric all of the time, but this wouldn't create new buying opportunities for other investors. So do bear that in mind when the market's going down. It's an opportunity for people to onboard. So if we jump over here to crypto bubbles quickly, we are going from 101 to 200, and we can see Luna Classic down here being up 11% on the week. And honestly, we've not had an easy run of it. I must say, we picked up a broken blockchain from a team that completely abandoned the idea, the concept, and even trying to save it in any way, shape or form. So it's not been an easy road, but we're getting on with the tasks in hand. So let's dive over to the Commonwealth now that we've got a broader perspective on what is happening with the market, and do check out the daily crypto dive, which is being made available for you each and every day, and it gives you a broader perspective on the market. So let's dive into this Commonwealth discussion, and it's talking about an integrated rule set for secure and inclusive Terra Classic L1 development. So this proposal aims to address the issues identified in the previously passed KYC proposal 12033 and introduce additional safeguards while ensuring that everyone can contribute to the Terra Classic codebase. So contribution rules for the Terra Classic codebase for code contributions. Open access, there are no restrictions on who is allowed to contribute code. Anyone can submit code changes via a pull request. However, non-KYC contributors are not permitted to directly commit code to the Terra Classic repositories. So code review and commentary, open participation. There are no restrictions on who is allowed to review or comment on code contributions. This is already the case under the current KYC rules and is just added here for clarification. So merging and release management. And this is the most important part of the whole operation, because this is where they're referencing the repository itself. So governance controlled access, merging code into the Terra Classic repository, which includes all repositories within the Classic Terra GitHub organization, and creating releases can only be performed by individuals from a governance approved list. So the dynamic list management. This list of authorized individuals can be updated, expanded, or reduced at any time via governance decisions. The initial list of authorized individuals consists of, in an alphabetical order, Anmin, Dong, Expert Dicer, Fragwadig, Renzo, Strafe Cole, and Vin. So KYC requirements, only governance passed KYC providers will be recognized for this process. To add additional third-party KYC provider, it has to be approved via a governance proposal. Current governance approved KYC providers are Certic and Solid Proof. And this proposal supersedes contribution rules from previous past KYC related proposals. So I really think this is a good step in the right direction, although this doesn't fully open that circle in terms of KYC and open development. It opens it up enough to bring those who are starting to walk away from the Luna Classic path and possibly getting them back on course where we need them developing, so then people can go out and create content as to what's going on and feed the people and try to bring in the masses. So this, from my perspective, really does emphasize on the idea that we only really need KYC on the Terra Classic repository, and those who are merging code into that code base are the ones that are doing the double, triple checks to ensure that nothing malicious or any backdoors are getting through. So with all of this now being read through and us starting to better understand, does this open up the circle enough? I would say yes, it does. And hopefully it brings back those who have walked away, as I've mentioned. And as they've stated in here, there's not much different as to what's currently going on. There's a lot of miscommunication and misrepresentation of what KYC is and what KYC stands for. And I explained in a previous video that DeFi itself, and specifically on Luna Classic, it's a lot like quantum theory or quantum physics. It's very based around terminology and how somebody presents something and how you perceive it, and then how it's re-represented to the next person for their understanding. And things tend to get warped and bent and then better put into a purpose that serves that person's narrative. A lot of P's in this conversation this morning, but you're getting the point. So I myself would vote yes for this, because it seems like a good step in the right direction as to reopening up that circle, which is very important in a time like this when the chain's heading to a very centralized endpoint. And that's not what we want. We've worked very hard as a community to keep that decentralized aspect, and it seems very strange to just throw all of that out of the window at this point and just give in to the better nature of centralization. I don't think that should ever be a thing, and I stand for the idea of this chain being so attractive because it's decentralized, because it's truly community owned, because anyone from anywhere on the globe can arrive at this blockchain with a skill set and they can make a name for themselves. That's what crypto is all about, a world without barriers that any one of us can enter if we feel like it. And we've seen so many different people in the LUNC community go from member to validator, or to project creator, or to a NFT holder. It's a step in the right direction. So I think this is really good. It's a positive way to start Friday as we're going into the weekend, and hopefully that market moving upwards, because we're in a bit of a tricky point, and it's one of those moments when it's point break. It's a critical moment. So what we are seeing at the moment is a double bottom formation, and we're looking on the day view here, and we've seen this play out, and this is giving us a signal to say that there is bullish momentum behind this chart. We've also seen a double top formation, which tells us that there's bearish momentum. And then we've seen this downtrend begin to form. So our current stage we're at is here, as you can see with this yellow circle. And with this yellow circle, we really do need to get a very strong break out of this area. And when I say a very strong break, I would say above here. Above here would be great, above that trend line more importantly. But what we want to see is a very strong breakout, because if we can see a strong breakout, then we can possibly move back up to that area of safety. If we fail to break out and BTC fails to provide any momentum, unless we decide to decouple from BTC, which we've been seeing signs of previously, then there is a chance of a failed breakout. And that failed breakout could lead us down to a lower low, and then that would confirm a further downtrend. And as we can see here, that would then set us at a range of around that 472 to 4710 range, forming another lower low. And then we would come back up again, either bounce on that trend line, break above it, or bounce and come back down. So I think this is what we're set out to do over the next week to 2 weeks. As you can see, this is pushing well into September. And I think September is going to be a month when everybody's going to be on the edge of their seats. This is a market that could break out at any point, and everybody is gambling on when is going to be the best time to go full bore into crypto and really go 100% with all of their bags. And do not find yourself trying to figure out when it is going to shoot up. Don't try to find that one single point. try to find these nice dollar cost average areas that you can possibly get in as the market's doing what it does and you have absolutely no control over it. Try not to buy these highs. That's a very dangerous game to play, and there's a lot of money to be made during these swings. I've been doing a little bit of leverage trading myself recently on Margex just because it's so simple. There's copy trading over there and the fees are relatively good. And what I've been doing is doing it with Luna Classic specifically, going long, doing very safe positions, and they're panning out for me. And because Luna Classic is a chart that we've been able to understand for a long time, it's much easier to actually make those leverage plays, and you can go up to 100x, which is even better. So if you want to join that, there are links to that in the description. You can sign up through my link and get extra little bonuses. I'm sure they'll present you with those if you go through that link. So aside that, that's all I've really got for you for now. This is really good news in my opinion. We could see more developers come back, which would allow for more people on chain to do more stuff in a far more decentralized manner. So I'm 100% for this. I think it's great. I think you guys are going to love it. And I don't think there's going to be a huge argument when it comes down to this, other than those standardized people who remain as fundamentalists, regardless of the evidence and regardless of the facts that are in front of them. They don't want to hear it. They just want to stay the same and us never do anything. I'm personally moving towards the idea of USTCs actually burnt down to a level where it's worth looking into getting someone in and pushing that market module forward. If you go and you look at different characters that used to be involved in Luna and now are involved with Luna Classic, it starts to surprise you, even with people like Stablefang, who's now offering, I think, $10,000 to anyone who can come on board and fix Astroport Classic to get it back up and running. So if that doesn't tell you something, I don't know what will at this point. I hope you all have an amazing Friday. I hope you have an even better weekend. And aside that, just stay safe, stay humble, and I'll catch you in the next one.